Hey y'all, welcome back or welcome. If you're new here, my name's Sarah. This is Coco. She's in every video and you're probably gonna hear her snore because that's what she does. She's got an easy job. As you can tell by the title, we're gonna be doing true scary night shift stories. Some paranormal, some just some scary stuff that done happen to some people that was working nights. That's enough of an intro. Let's get into the good stuff and get scared. One more little part. Use your words, Sarah. What is my mouth doing tonight? That's what she said. Okay, see, y'all can't. It's not wanting to form words. Anyway, I was gonna tell y'all. Don't watch this at like 3 a.m. though, because I make that mistake when Gavin works nights and I'll be watching like Paranormal Witness or something like that, and then I'm like, if I go get into bed, something's gonna grab my foot, and it's gonna be a demon.
Here come the scary stories. Get ready to be scared.
Okay, here we go. I don't have a story, but I'll tell you what my wife experienced. She's a nurse, and for a couple of years, she worked a night shift in the palliative care unit. This unit is the comfort care end-of-life unit. Patients in that unit are expected to either die on the unit, be sent home to die, or transferred to a care home to die. The rooms had radios, and according to my wife, a radio would suddenly turn on by itself, and within an hour or so, a patient would pass on. She said it happened all the time. One particularly very busy night, a radio turned on and my wife went into the room where the radio was, stared into the pitch black darkness and screamed, "Knock it off. I don't have time for this shit." That radio snapped off. No patient died during the rest of her shift, but one did pass away shortly after she clocked out. She ain't had time for that ghost shit. Turn that shit off, I ain't got time for it. Woo, girl, I'm impressed. Because I probably would have shit my pants. I work as a transporter in a hospital. No, the hospital. Around 2 years ago, we moved from the old city hospital into a new state-of-the-art facility. The old hospital was built in the 1930s and was definitely showing its age. At night, it was just plain creepy. Oh, I can imagine. Each floor had an east wing and a west wing. The east wing of the fourth floor was the first wing that was shut down. They shut it down around 2 weeks before the move. One night around 9:30 p.m., I'm up on the floor to get a patient from the west wing. I see a small group of nurses and nurses' aides who all used to work on the now closed east wing. They all looked visibly shaken. I walked over to see if everybody was okay, see what had happened. They told me that they had decided to walk through their old wing for nostalgia's sake. When they were over there, the phone at the nurses' station started ringing. The computers and phones had not yet been moved. Not sure what to do, one of the nurses reached over the counter and answered the phone. The nurse told me that there was a woman's voice on the other end and she sounded confused. This is the conversation as best as I can recall it. "This is Mary, how can I help you?" asked the nurse when she picked the phone up. "Hello, who is this?" replies the confused lady. "This is Mary, I'm a nurse. Is there anything I can help you with?" "Where am I?" says the confused lady. "This is Mercy Hospital. Are you a patient here?" asks the nurse. "Oh, okay," replies the lady. And then the line went dead. That's when the nurse finally looked at the screen on the phone that it has caller ID to check and see where the call was coming from. Make sure nobody needed some help. The caller ID on the phone indicated that the phone call was coming from the room number directly next to that nurse's station. By this point, the rooms had been cleared out and the phones that are in the patient's rooms, gone. Not a phone in there, not a patient bed, nothing, no patients, nothing like that. Gone. But the nurse's station phone's still in there. They could all see directly into that room where the call originated. And there was nobody in there. That's when they all ran to the West Wing where I was getting off at the elevator. I avoided that wing for the rest of my time there. It's a little creepy. I work at a crisis nursery, which is a child care facility that provides emergency and respite care for children under the age of 7. I used to work nights all the time. I have to say, first and foremost, I absolutely 100% do not believe in paranormal stuff at all. I do not believe in any of it. None whatsoever. I say that because there's like a period after each word. So this person does not believe in ghosts, paranormal, nothing. That being said, when it's 2 a.m. in a dark room where you and only 2 or 3 other ladies in their 20s or the only adults in the building, shit gets creepy. See that? The facility I work in was named for a child that was beat to death by one of their parents. The nursery was started in their name as a way to hopefully prevent another child dying a violent death at the hands of a stressed out caregiver. The story that goes around is that this kid's spirit haunts the nursery and is mostly active at night. I'm told about this kid on my first day of night, so I was like, yeah, whatever. Trying to scare the new girl. That stuff doesn't bother me because I don't believe in it. Later that night, one of the kids got up to use the bathroom, and one of my coworkers helped the kid to the bathroom and then back to bed, and then returned to where we were all sitting. Pretty soon, we hear the water start running in the bathroom, and one of my coworkers goes and checks, and yep, water's running. The coworker is adamant that the water faucet was off when she escorted the kid out of there earlier. They told me that one of the reasons the staff thinks the facility is haunted is because loads of different unrelated, not on the same shift, don't know each other, workers, social workers, paramedics, just people like that. People don't know each other. Made reports at different unrelated times that the child in their care was asking about that kid, as in like, why does that kid have to go to bed, while they're pointing at nothing that the adults can see. I brushed that off too and basically forget about it. A few weeks later, I was in the sleep room, which is the bedroom where all the kids sleep. There must always be an adult in the room with the kids. I was by myself that night. I'm just chilling, reading a book with a book light. The rest of the room is pitch black and silent. All of a sudden, this kid who's maybe 4 or 5 years old sits bolt upright in bed and says, "Hey, how come they're not asleep? Why do they get to play? I want to play too. Can I play with that kid?" The kid is saying this while pointing at a wall where there are no kids anywhere in that vicinity. I got instant heebie-jeebies. I was so scared I almost screamed. I refused to be alone in that room from that moment on. I probably would have screamed, woke every kid up in there up. Just scream, woke them all up. Around 12 years ago, I was working security at a small company's headquarters in New York City. My partner for the night had called in sick, so I had to work from 12 to 6 all by my lonesome. Now, normally this wouldn't be a problem. I just had to sit in the back room, watch some cameras, and occasionally go out and do a sweep. Nothing to it, right? As it turns out, one employee had stayed in the building after hours and had managed to avoid the previous shift's sweeps. I first noticed movement in my peripheral vision on one of the screens and then again a few minutes later. It was odd because I was used to quiet nights in this particular building. I was a little uneasy when it came time to do my sweep, but it was my job, so I grabbed my flashlight and headed out. I had to start the sweep in one big hallway, and right as I entered, I saw a flash of movement at the end of it. At this point, I was freaked the fuck out. I stood frozen in place for a minute or two, looking into the darkness, unsure of what to do next. The decision was made for me, however, as I heard a gunshot come from down the hallway. In what was the scariest moment of my entire life, I slowly walked down that hallway to investigate. I reached the end and saw to my left that the president's office light was on. I slowly approached the door and creaked it open, scared shitless. What I saw will forever haunt me. The man had taken a seat in the president's chair and shot himself. I threw up a few times and then called the police. I got the next 2 weeks off. I still have nightmares about it sometimes. I guess you do have nightmares. That's traumatizing. Oh my gosh. I'd have nightmares too. That is traumatizing. Oh. I was working nights at a gas station at the time this happened. One night around 3 a.m., a car pulled up to the gas pump. The guy got out and started pumping gas, and then the guy and the car just vanished, just disappeared, like into thin air. I was literally looking right at the guy and the car, and they just popped out of existence. I told my boss about it the next day, and she turned white as a sheet. She said she had seen the same exact thing, but had never told anybody because she didn't want anybody to think she'd lost her mind. She said she saw the same car, same guy, same pump, same everything. She described it exactly the same as what I saw. Y'all, that's not something I would keep to myself. I'd ask every person that worked there and probably every customer, y'all, you know what I saw? I'm not crazy either, but I saw it, and I'm going to need to know if anybody else saw the same thing. I believe it too. Because, you know, I mean, there's like, I loved that book, A Wrinkle in Time. So there could be like, you know, and the whole Stephen King, like, Dark Tower series. Like, we just have no idea what's going on out there in the world. There could be different time, space, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for watching this. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, give it a like, and I will see y'all in the next video. Until then, have a fabulous day, week, month, and I love y'all.